Thank you. Thanks, Elise and Richard, and welcome to our Issues Conference. You're so blessed that we're looking into the sun and you're not. It's right in our faces, so I'm squinting here. It is really, really bright. But beautiful day, and we're delighted to be here in Greenbrier. It is not far from Washington, so a good place to bring the members, get them out of the hustle and bustle of Capitol Hill, and I hope you all will enjoy a day and a half of the same. I want to thank Chairwoman Stefanik and Chairman Hudson. They're just doing an extraordinary job. And because they've done such a great job, we're in a very strong position to grow our majority because of all this hard work. Elise Stefanik has done an extraordinary job just communicating the House Republicans' priorities. And these are the priorities also of the American people. Let me give you one example. On the immigration and border, most of the polling, most recently one I looked at, it was Gallup, has it as the #1 issue for the American people. We believe a big part of that is because the House Republicans have been so consistent in highlighting what is an absolute catastrophe on the border that's created by this administration. A large number of the American people, according to the polling, also recognize that the president has the executive authority to make changes there immediately, but he is unwilling or unable to do it. Politically unable, that is. Legally, he is. Chairman Hudson, along the way, has done an extraordinary job recruiting candidates and building strong campaigns at the NRCC. It's one of the greatest efforts we've seen, and there have been extraordinary results from that as well. Americans are fed up with Biden and the extreme Democrats' open borders, high cost of living, and America Last agenda. And it really is extreme. The positions they've taken are sometimes surprising even to us. One example just from yesterday, 193 of our House Democrat colleagues voted against condemning Biden's open border. I think they're going to regret that in the election cycle because I think the American people are dialed in on this. And last week's very divisive State of the Union and after Super Tuesday, when you combine all these things and the way the American people are processing all this, I believe that we are more confident than ever that we're going to grow this majority. Now in place to pick up 4 seats in North Carolina. After redistricting, a lot of people thought the Republicans would be behind, but it's actually been a wash overall. If you look at all of them and how that all settled out around the country, we will actually be about even as where we were. But we'll pick up 4 seats in North Carolina. We believe we can pick up seats in California and Texas and other places. President Biden also on Super Tuesday became the first incumbent to lose a primary since Jimmy Carter in 1980. Personally, I've been doing my part. We're all doing our part. The Speaker's responsibility is a big one. It's a big burden. I've been working nonstop to build on this. I've traveled to nearly 20 states in the less than 4 months that I've been on the road as Speaker. This week we transferred $3.5 million to the NRCC. That makes $7 million so far this quarter alone, and I think it's over $10 million since I became Speaker. You know, the Speaker also raises for a super PAC. Ours is CLF, and there's been tens of millions of additional dollars there. All that's publicly reported. We just do our job, and we invest as good stewards. And we're able to tell donors around the country that we will use those investments wisely, and I think they understand that. The GOP majority is the only firewall right now stopping President Biden and Chuck Schumer. And we have to grow the majority. As you all know, we have a record small majority. It's the second smallest in U.S. history with a 2-vote majority. It will soon shrink once more when Ken Buck leaves after next week. But in spite of all that, we are very, very optimistic. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and I won't go on all afternoon, but I will tell you that the environment for our side is very, very strong. 73% of Americans believe that we are going in the wrong direction. Axios reported today, here's a little excerpt, quote, new data shows that Democrats' longtime advantage with Black, Latino, and Asian American voters has shrunk to its lowest point in more than 60 years, creating a massive vulnerability for President Biden and congressional Democrats. That's what we're seeing around the country. No matter where we go, whether I'm out west in the Midwest, I mean Long Island, the East Coast, and the Deep South, it's all the same. We're seeing an energy in the base. We're seeing a real zeal for this election. I think the enthusiasm gap is very wide and very much in our favor. And in our battleground states, we have 37 seats that we're targeting, including 5 seats that President Trump won in the last election that are held by Democrats, and including 6 open seats. And again, with redistricting, we're very well positioned. So the environment's one thing. Our recruiting class has been extraordinary as well because of the efforts of Richard Hudson and others who've worked in leadership in NRCC. We got one of the best classes we've ever recruited. And we have veterans and women and minorities and people who are just very highly qualified, who know their districts well, who are messaging well with the right tone. They have business acumen or experience as legislators at the local, state level. Just an extraordinary group of people, and they're running very, very well. And that builds on our 2020 strategy. All 15 seats that we flipped were won by either a woman, minority, or veteran. And so it's an extraordinary class of people. Another reason is because of the fundraising. The NRCC had a record year at the end of last year, and so did CLF, by the way. Our Patriots, the Republican Patriots, outraised the Democrat frontliners 4 quarters in a row. And our Patriots are sitting on $500,000 cash on hand as an advantage over their opponents. I think that overall we're very excited about the fall, and that election can't happen soon enough. America is in a very difficult state, and what the true state of the union is decline, because we're declining in every measurable category on the world stage. Our stature there, we're declining in our economy. We're declining with the public safety and the crime crisis that's happening around the country because we have an open border and we have lawless district attorneys and others who are not doing their jobs. I think the American people are fed up with this. They're fed up with the cost of living and all the rest, and they're going to give the Republicans a chance to answer all those great challenges. We have those answers, and we're excited to provide them. That's what our candidates are out around the country talking about, and we're looking forward to getting to the fall. So we'll have productive time here today, and I don't know, do we have time for a few questions, I guess? Is that the front row?